Gwen, I'm going to begin with you.
Thank you.
If Biden loses the House, are we going to see any immediate, effect as good old Americans just trying to, make a living day to day?
Well, Ashleigh, I wish I could tell you that we're going to see kumbaya and that they're all going to get along, but I think you and I both know that that is not what's going to happen. Look, I was in the Obama administration when we saw a change in power. And in fact, Doug, I think you wrote a piece recently about how you were involved in trying to take that power from President Obama. And what we saw after the fact was government shutdowns. We saw ineffective government because, unfortunately, too often right now, our political parties are seeing their power in resistance, and they're not working towards solutions for the American people. So I believe that the Republicans, look, you cannot change the cost of gas, and it's extraordinarily expensive. And while I don't believe that the Republicans have the solutions to it, and I think some of the solutions could be derived by us working together to pressure people like the Saudis to not play politics with our gas prices, but because we're not working together and because Republicans don't have all the solutions, I don't see that even when the Republicans likely have a very good night on next Tuesday night, that the average American is going to see, one, a decrease in prices, two, an effective government, or three, anything for their reality change very quickly. I know there's a lot of frustration right now, and I feel it. But unfortunately, I think what we're going to see is the Republicans gain power and then less function in government, and will probably be more frustrated.
So there's the question for you, Doug, and that is that it's probably pretty likely if the Republicans retake the House, and let's just say the Senate as well. Things don't change on a dime in Washington, no matter how hard someone campaigns for change. So what happens then to the Americans who felt like they had all these promises in the television ads, and they're still probably paying for at least another while longer for high gas prices and inflation? Does it actually then affect the Republican who's going to run for president 2 years later?
Sure. Well, the first thing is we're going to have a lame duck session one way or another. And that potentially will be very contentious because if Republicans take over the House and take the Senate, but even if they just take the House, you're going to see Democrats trying to do everything they can to move legislation through while they still have two chambers of Congress to do so. The debt ceiling being a big part of that. And if we want to talk about whether or not we're going to have a functioning government, the debt limit issue is an existential one for the government, much less shutdowns and things like that. But then getting to the heart of your question, it's hard to get things done. And a good example on that is Obamacare. And when I worked in the House of Representatives for Eric Cantor, in 2014, I spent every day working on repeal and replace. The repeal part was easy. We could vote to repeal portions of Obamacare, some of which actually got signed into law. Little tweaks in the law were signed into law by Obama. But actually replacing the bill was not just impossible to do. We weren't even able to put a white paper out on this. And compare today's Republican Party to 2014. We had Dave Camp, John Klein, Fred Upton, and Paul Ryan as the four chairs of jurisdiction. These were not your bomb throwers, your loudmouths. These were the roll-up-your-sleeve legislator types that you'd want doing these things, and even they couldn't get agreement on that, much less a lot of other issues. So it's going to be hard to get things done, and you have a real problem in trying to satisfy your base that has amped up expectations.
So, okay, the other thing I really wonder about is every time there's a change in the Senate, Johanna, I'll get you to address this. There's a fear or there's an excitement that maybe the filibuster will be done away with. And so if the Republicans take the Senate, they're going to have the same problems that the Democrats have right now. You got to have 60 votes. Do you think that there's a concern? And I'm going to get you both to weigh in on this. You get 30 seconds each. Go, Johanna.
I think that if the Republicans take the Senate, they have bigger problems because I think you're going to actually see McConnell and McCarthy don't agree on everything. They don't agree on funding for Ukraine. They don't agree on a lot of what Trump has been throwing out. And so I think what you're going to see if you have Republicans take the Senate is they may not get along with the Republican House. So again, you're not going to see much function.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.